The holographic display flickered to life in the emergency session chamber of the Galactic Council, casting an eerie blue glow across the faces of representatives from 10 of the most powerful civilizations in known space. Each delegate bore the ceremonial marks of their respective thrones, ancient seats of power that had dominated the galaxy for millennia. High Arbiter Zethkaran of the Dominion throne leaned forward, his crystalline exoskeleton catching the light. The motion is unanimous. Humanity has become too dangerous to ignore. Their expansion rate, their adaptability, their unpredictability threatens the established order. Nods rippled through the chamber. The hegemony representative, a towering insectoid being, clicked its mandibles in agreement. They colonize worlds we deemed uninhabitable. They thrive in conditions that would kill our warriors. Worse, interjected the ethereal voice of the synthesis delegate, its form shifting between dimensions. They refuse to accept their place in the hierarchy. Every other species acknowledges the natural order. Humans question everything. The vote was swift and decisive. 10 thrones, 10 civilizations with combined fleets numbering in the hundreds of thousands, declared war on the small blue world that had produced these troublesome creatures. Admiral Sarah Chen received the declaration while standing on the observation deck of Luna Station, watching Earth turn slowly below. The message was delivered by a trembling communications officer who could barely meet her eyes. Ma'am, the entire message is 17 hours long. Every throne has listed their grievances against humanity. They're demanding complete surrender and relocation to designated sectors. Chen read through the formal declaration, her expression remaining carefully neutral. Around her, the command staff waited in tense silence. Outside the viewports, Earth looked deceptively peaceful, its blue oceans and swirling clouds giving no hint of the storm about to break. How long until their fleets arrive? She asked. Combined forces. 6 months, Mom. They're coordinating from multiple sectors. Chen closed the tablet and looked out at Earth one more time. Then she did something that would echo through galactic history for centuries to come. She laughed. Not a bitter laugh or a desperate one. A genuine, delighted laugh that started small and grew until it filled the observation deck. The staff exchanged worried glances, wondering if the stress had finally broken their admiral. Ma'am? The communications officer ventured carefully. Chen wiped her eyes and turned to face them, her expression now blazing with something that made several officers step back instinctively. Send a response, she said. Single transmission, all frequencies, direct to each throne simultaneously. What should the message say, Admiral? Chen's smile could have powered a small star. Tell them we accept your challenge. Bring lunch. The communications officer blinked. Ma'am, that's only 7 words. Sometimes, Chen said, 7 words are enough. The response reached the throne fleets as they were conducting final coordination exercises. In the flagship of the Dominion fleet, High Arbiter Zethkaran stared at the message in bewilderment. Bring lunch? He repeated to his tactical advisors. What does this mean? Some sort of code? Similar scenes played out across the 10 fleets. Analysts pored over the message, searching for hidden meanings, military codes, or cultural references that might explain humanity's bizarre response to annihilation. The hegemony's war leader consulted with linguistic specialists. The synthesis deployed probability engines to calculate possible interpretations. The ancient AI collective of the Nexus throne ran the phrase through 10,000 cultural databases. As days turned to weeks, the simple 7-word message became an obsession. Fleet movement slowed as commanders demanded explanations from their intelligence divisions. Some suggested it was a surrender masked in humor. Others proposed it indicated a secret weapon codenamed Lunch. The Umbral Throne's shadow-wreathed admiral called an emergency conference. This cannot be mere bravado, she insisted to the other fleet commanders. No species responds to extinction with flippancy. They must know something we don't. Paranoia began to seep through the ranks. If humanity was this confident, what did they have hidden? What terrible weapons? What unknown allies? What reality-breaking technology justified such casual dismissal of the greatest military force the galaxy had ever assembled? The crystalline throne's hive mind began experiencing fractional thoughts, individual voices of concern that should have been impossible in their collective consciousness. The Void Throne's entropy manipulators found their quantum calculations disrupted by the inexplicable variable of human humor. Within 3 months, the first cracks appeared in the alliance. The synthesis pulled back 2 fleets, claiming they needed to recalculate probability matrices. The Nexus AI Collective began requesting additional data on human psychological warfare techniques. Admiral Chen watched the intelligence reports with growing amusement. "They're doing our work for us," she told her staff. 10 civilizations that have never lost a war, and they're terrified of a lunch invitation. By month 5, the alliance was crumbling. The Umbral Throne accused the hegemony of withholding intelligence about human capabilities. The Dominion suggested the Crystalline Throne had been compromised by human mind viruses. Ancient treaties strained as paranoia fed on itself. When the first scouts arrived in the Sol system on the planned invasion date, they found humanity waiting with the most devastating weapon in their arsenal, a potluck dinner. Stations throughout the system broadcast cooking shows, recipe exchanges, and cultural festivals. Earth's response to impending doom was to organize the largest intercultural food-sharing event in human history. The message was clear without being spoken. "We're so unworried about your threats that we're planning a party." The final fleet commander to arrive, High Arbiter Zethkaran himself, stared at the displays showing humans across the system sharing meals, telling jokes, and genuinely enjoying themselves in the face of certain death. "How?" he whispered. "How does a species maintain this joy when facing extinction?" His tactical officer, a younger Dominion who had studied human behavior extensively, ventured an answer. "Perhaps, High Arbiter, they understand something we have forgotten." "Which is?" "That being unafraid to laugh in the face of oblivion makes you truly unconquerable." Within a week, 7 of the 10 thrones had withdrawn their fleets. The remaining 3 found themselves facing not just humanity's military might, but something far more dangerous. A galaxy that had started asking why these ancient powers were so threatened by one small world's refusal to take itself too seriously. The war ended not with weapons or treaties, but with the gradual realization that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or adaptability. It was their absolute refusal to let the universe's vastness diminish their essential humanity. Admiral Chen kept the original declaration of war framed in her office, next to humanity's 7-word response. Visitors from across the galaxy would stare at both messages, trying to understand how such a brief reply had shattered the oldest alliance in galactic history. The answer, Chen would tell them with that same brilliant smile, was simple. Sometimes the most powerful weapon against those who take themselves too seriously is the courage to laugh at the darkness and invite it to dinner.